Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about keeping your brain active and your body active during the fall. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I am Picket Fence.
All right, Sir Pickett, you have the mindfulness minute for us this week.
Yes, indeed. The cooler weather is an ideal for exercise, connecting with the outdoors and rediscovering the yard. Try acupuncture, royal jelly, or brain training to keep you in the blooming health through the cooler season. Focus on nurturing your body and bolstering your immune system before the winter arrives. Word up.
Word up. Heavy emphasis on boosting that immune system. We've talked about that in the early onsets of COVID. We did at least 3 shows about boosting that immune system and how powerful it is to help us fight against COVID. And it's not so much on its variants, but I'm going to venture a guess and say that a happy immune system, a well-boosted immune system, it's going to give you some protection against these new variants that are coming out just with a new name. It's still all COVID.
Yeah, definitely. No matter what the variant is called, Loki 1, Loki 2, female Loki, whatever the variant is, you definitely want to do your best to boost your immune system. That means getting as much sun as you can, even though the fall is setting in. We still have some great sunshine out there. You want to make sure that you get optimum nutrition. It means your vitamins, your B12, your B6, your ginseng, your ginger, your turmeric, all those herbs that really help fight free radicals, along with boosting your immune system. Get you some elderberries, sir. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Let's just jump into it, you know. But boosting your immune system is the best way to not only fight off the variants, but also fight off the regular flu that seem to get not a lot of chatter about, because we are in this pandemic for the last 1.5 years, going on 2 years. But the flu is still out there. It didn't disappear. They just aren't talking about it as much. And the common cold is still out there. So, you know, having a strong, healthy immune system helps with that. And one way, along with eating proper nutrition and herbs and your teas, is to get in good exercise and sunshine. So, you know, those are things you want to think about going into the fall.
So let me ask you, what is your favorite exercise? If age was not a factor, you know, those knees don't do what they used to do and that back don't move like it used to do, what is your favorite form of exercise?
Currently, because, you know, you still have to think about that age, I would have to say walking is my favorite exercise. In my youth, playing basketball there was no other form of exercise for me. I never really hit the weight room, but I used to play basketball pretty much every day. During the summer when we were out of school, I played from sun up to sundown. I went to basketball camps when I was in high school. Second would be track and field. I ran track during middle school and high school. I ran in the Junior Olympics. So that would probably be second, but basketball is my favorite form of exercising. But now, walking would definitely be it. What say you?
So in my younger days, riding my bike was my favorite. We had our own little bike crew in my neighborhood, and after like the movie BMX Bandits came out, we thought we was the BMX Bandits, even though we was riding Huffies and Schwinn's. In our mind, you could not tell us that we were not BMX Bandits. In my later years, I did participate in cheerleading for my church. I played basketball for my church. I didn't like the basketball as much as cheerleading, and I tried out for basketball in high school and I made the team. I played in one game. I got hit with a ball. And that was the end of my basketball career. I quit after that because when the coach said that, you're subject to getting hit with balls like that often, I was like, no, this is not the move for me. So now in my of ageness and my seasonedness, my favorite form of exercise would probably be dancing, but I don't have a lot of space and I have like very little rhythm, but I still like to dance. I like to move my body to music, even if not always on beat. Walking, I kind of like that. I would like to run because it is a better exercise, but because you have to do so much conditioning to work your way up to being able to run, I have yet to make it there. And even like during the summer when we go for walks, I feel like just when I get to the point where I'm able to start running, that's when the season changes and we're not outside as much anymore. So I have to find other ways to get an exercise. So I do little things at work. I take the steps instead of the elevator. Most of the time I try to take the steps up and maybe take the elevator down, just because we have separate steps now because of COVID. So only one side is up and only one side is down. And the down steps are really far away from my room and really far away from where I'm going when I'm leaving my office. So I usually take the elevator down and then take the steps up, because the steps are the steps are closer to my office door than the elevator is sometimes. But that's usually because when I'm leaving my office for anything, I'm in a hurry and I got to get back really fast. So I don't always have time to take the steps, although I'm trying to just get myself in a better spot where I can take the steps more often. So yeah, walking and dancing.
Cool. Far as nutrition, what are some things that you do, especially going into this season, that you do to try to make sure you get your nutrients?
Well, I used to have a really bad sweet tooth, and I don't so much anymore. So I'm not eating a lot of sweets. I do have a diet that I use that it causes you to lose 10 pounds the first week, 10 pounds the second week, and then 10 pounds when you get off of it. So intermittently, I do that diet. And even when I get off the diet itself, I still eat those same foods to keep the weight loss going and the metabolism going. Trying to squeeze in, more fruits and vegetables. I don't drink a lot of milk like I used to. So I'm cutting out, milk and dairy in that regard. I still do like cheese, but I try not to put cheese on everything. So for me, instead of like deprivation, I'm more into small steps I can do on a daily basis, because I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm craving this or I want this and I can't have it because I'm so worried about, gaining weight, or I'm worried about this, that I don't enjoy food or I don't enjoy life. So for me, I'm taking small steps. I would advise, if it's not something that you're used to, definitely doing small steps whenever possible until you work your way up into being, all fruits and vegetables, or going on a juice cleanse or a juice fast. I do intermittent fasting, not necessarily because I want to, but because of the way my schedule and my day is at work. I don't really have time to stop and eat. So I'm doing intermittent fasting, just because of the way my day is, not necessarily trying to, but it is working. I'm noticing that I have, lost a couple of inches here and there, a couple of, my stomach, my shirt's fitting a little bit different now. So for me, it's more about small steps than something really drastic, just because of the way that my life is going right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. As far as nutrition, along with nutrition, what I like to do is, especially at the change of season, which we just stepped in the fall a few days ago, I like to do some type of detox at the beginning, within the first week of each season. In the past, I've done a lot of like juice fasting. Now what I just try to do is a more non-processed food fasting. So I'll do juices some days, but some days it'll just be salad. I'll try to eat raw salad, or I'll try to eat some homemade vegetable soup. which I'm probably going to make me some soup in the next couple of days because, like I said, it's the change of season. And I just recently started a new job where I'm around a lot of people that I don't know what they do, where they come from, blah blah blah. Just a lot of different people throughout 9.5 hours throughout the day. So I have been kind of worried about that. Of course, I'm still wearing my mask, even though people forgot we were supposed to be wearing masks, and now our city does have a mask mandate again. I never took mine off, except for when I'm eating somewhere or drinking somewhere. But at work, I still do, even though most of the people that come in don't have masks and stuff. But so I want to make sure that I cleanse myself. That kind of helps your immune system too, because you have all that buildup. You have buildup of toxins. We've all seen that commercial scrolling or going to YouTube. Your body can have anywhere from 2 to 20 pounds of toxic waste just still sitting in you. So I try to make sure I cleanse every season. If you aren't a person that's used to fasting, I would say take it slow. I would only do 3 to 7 days would be my suggestion for you. I've gone as long as 2.5, 3 weeks of just juicing and that nature. Except this one is probably going to be more of juicing and souping. That's what I'll call it, souping. But homemade vegetable soup. So we're still having fresh produce in the soup, along with veggie broth and water. Good water, not just faucet water. I probably put some alkaline water in there, just to help cleanse out the system. And it's gonna, like I said, it not only will have vegetables, it probably have the vegetables I love, green peppers, onions. I'll throw some garlic in there, which is a great antioxidant. I'll throw some beans in there for my protein. So not only you're cleansing, you're replenishing with nutrients at the same time.
Okay. So that's good that you mentioned the protein. One of the questions that I often get when I tell people that we don't eat beef and pork and that my husband has gone vegan, they go, well, how do you get your protein? And so then I have to go into this big long thing about how you get protein from other foods besides just red meat. Because people think protein, all they think is steak and hamburger. And I'm like, there's protein in lots of different things, that aren't meat. And,
this is a simple answer for people who always say it, because I know I get that question all the time. And anybody that is vegetarian, vegan, or just somebody that doesn't eat a lot of meat, period, is going to get that question. The simple answer is, how do you think that cow got its protein? It's not eating a steak. How do you think that lamb got its protein? It's not eating other lambs. It's not eating a hamburger with cheese on it and a pickle and fries. A pig might eat a cow or a lamb. A pig will eat anything. That's why most spiritual text says don't eat a pig. For all you churchgoers that have chitterlings, I hate to go there. I ain't trying to, but I've got to go there on you. It says in the book, do not eat this filthy animal, but you still do. That's another story for another time. But in any other case, you don't see cows eating steaks. You don't see cows eating pork chops. You don't see lambs eating hamburgers or cheeseburgers.
Right.
So most of those animals are grazers, minus the pig. Cows graze, lambs graze, deer grazes, berries and things like that. So they're getting their protein from nature. So why do you think that you can't get your protein from nature? So like I'm saying, the soup's going to have beans. It's going to have mushrooms, different types of mushrooms, which is also a great source of protein. Probably have 3 or 4 different beans in there, some green pepper, onion, garlic. So just get a good cleanse going into the new season. And like we're talking about today, is really about boosting your immune system and staying active. So not only do you want to stay active, stay nutritious, you want to continue to use your mind. Now, this is something that you are really good at. 'Cause one, you're always thinking. You're always, no matter what, when you're sleeping, that keeps you from sleeping a lot of times because you're always thinking. But another thing that you do that is really good is you play a lot of like puzzle games. So that helps you keep your mind active. Because a lot of people, when this season sets in, is couch football, snacks. Next month, that's always, been traditionally for us and our family, is chili month. We used to go to my sister's house for trick-or-treat night and have chili and sit as the other kids go trick-or-treating. So this is usually chill mode for most people. Not only on a physical, but the mental. We're usually couch potatoes once the fall, and especially when the winter sets in. So talk to the people about some things that they can, different things you do to stay mentally active, the games and type of stuff. Because I'm not a game guy at all. I don't play no games.
So some of the games I do like the variety puzzle books that you can buy from the store. They're usually $1.99, really cheap. I actually got some really good ones last season that I'm finished with now, so I need to replenish. But at Ollie's, and I got a really big one. It was $4.99, but it was like 6 books in one. So it was all kinds of word puzzles and crosswords and Sudoku. I'm not really that good at Sudoku, but just trying to go through the motions and figure it out is a really good brain exercise for neuroplasticity for your brain. Anything that makes your brain have to think and process. Logic puzzles I really, really love. I have a parking game on my phone that people look at and go, isn't that like a kiddie game? It's not, because you have to think logically to get all of these cars out of the parking lot in a certain number of moves. And so that is challenging. And then the cars only move in one direction. So they either move front and back or sideways, which is still front and back, depending on, how you turn your phone when you're swiping. I like hidden object games because they require you to think. There's one that I have that it puts it in different modes. So sometimes there are pictures that you have to find of the items, and then sometimes it's a silhouette of the item. So you have to think a little bit harder of what this is or what this shape is. Then on that same game, there's another mode where it's just words. So even though the word may say candle, you have to really look for it, because it might not be white. It may be a different color. It may be even a different shape or at a different angle. So those kind of things keep your brain sharp, make you think. I have some strategy games, and then I have some games that are pure fun, like bowling. I have a tic-tac-toe game, which is actually strategy as well, Connect Four. I don't get to play them as often as I would like to, because real life kicks in. But when I'm having trouble sleeping, that's one of the things that I do, because it's kind of it's an activity that relaxes my brain while also keeping my brain just active enough so that I can fall asleep. Because just laying down telling myself go to sleep, my body and brain don't get that connection that, it's 9 o'clock, it's sleep time, it's dark outside. So I have to unwind my brain. Playing those kinds of games allow me to not think about the day that I just had or to think about the day that is ahead. It allows me to really be in that moment and let my brain just kind of breathe. Because a lot of the times, the things that keep us up at night, especially me and my profession, is running over the day. What did I do wrong? Or what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? And then thinking about, okay, well, tomorrow, what's on my to-do list? What do I have to take care of? Which student do I need to meet with? What situation do I need to make sure that I intervene in from the day before to make sure it's fine? So again, it's that worry and that anxiety about what's ahead while also thinking about the day you just had. So sometimes I just need to shut all of that out of my brain. And those games allow me to do that. And if I'm listening to music like jazz while I'm playing the game, then it's like a double whammy of that relaxation just rushing over, my brain and my whole body. Because what your brain does, your body will follow.
Word up. That's good. You know, the only game that I will say that I do like is this game. I don't know if y'all can see this. Everybody know about this old school
Oh yes.
triangle. For those that are just listening, you can't see it, but it's the triangle with the little pegs from back in the like probably the 60s or the 70s where you're
It's
jumping.
a famous
pegs.
game at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, they used to have it. Well, I didn't go to Cracker Barrel as a kid. We used to have these around the house. And
Okay.
the thing that I miss is like I have the triangle one, but I remember as a kid, like in the 70s, there were all different types of shapes that you could get this in with the little, you basically playing leapfrog with the pegs, and as you jump one, you take one, and your object is to get one peg left. So if you're just listening and can't see this, you probably know what I'm talking about. The little triangle with the holes, and you have almost filled except for one space, and you try to just leave one. That's probably much the only game that I like as far as puzzle type of game, along with our favorite game to play with each other, which is Mancala, which is a strategy game because you got to know which jewel to drop in a space to try to empty your side out first and try to keep the other person full of jewels.
You missed the game too.
What's that?
Othello.
Oh yeah, I do like Othello. And I've been a fan of that since I was a little kid. Even had it on Atari back in the day. So yeah, 3 games: the peg game, Mancala, and Othello. But video games, I'm not a video game dude. I do like seeing people play those adventure games because they look so real nowadays. But I don't have time to be clickety clacking and fingering X and Y's and all. Nah, I'm good. So we were talking about nutrition. So I want to read something right quick. One of the main theories about why the body degenerates as you grow older is based on a chemical process known as oxidation. During the normal metabolism, the body produces unstable molecules called free radicals. But there are other factors in the environment that also increase free radical production. Fortunately, you have the supply of natural antioxidants called antioxidants, which mob up the free radicals. However, levels of antioxidants fall as you age, resulting in damage into your cell tissue. By increasing or intaking of antioxidants as you get older, you may be able to protect yourself from the worst effects of these processes. A wide range of chemicals in the food can act as antioxidants, but amongst the most important are beta carotene, and that is vitamin A, C, and E. Research on people whose diets are rich in antioxidants rather than relying on supplements has been promising. For example, in reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease, foods that are rich in antioxidants, which some of I mentioned will be in my soup. Beans, pinto, red, black, and kidney, berries, cranberries, blueberries, and blackberries, nuts, pecans, walnuts, and hazelnuts. I really don't like any of those nuts, but those are good if you like those. Other fruits: plums, cherries, apples, artichoke hearts, and russet potatoes. So the only thing I really don't get with is the pecans. I don't like pecans, walnuts, and hazelnuts. I can't even really tell you what hazelnut tastes like except for in coffee though. But I've seen them. They're just like little balls. Excuse me, they almost look like chickpeas or something. I don't think I would eat those by themselves, but all the other things, especially the beans, cranberries, blueberries, they make great snacks during the day. You know, maybe not beans, but cranberries. You could get dried cranberries, blueberries. If you have a desk job, instead of reaching for potato chips, you know, pop some cranberries, some blueberries, dried blueberries, cranberries. Or if you have a job that, you know, you have access to a refrigerator, you can get fresh blueberries, blackberries, and cranberries. But if you have the dried ones, you could put them in a little baggie and keep them in your pocket. You go on break, you do like old player and shake them a little bit and dope in your mouth. So, you know, that's just something that, you know, you want to be continuing to cleanse your body. Now, I'm not trying to be telling preaching to you because I gets my drink on. I we drink. If you're a toker, I'm not telling you don't do that, but just realize that we do a lot of damage to our bodies, and you want to do what you can to try to maintain it at the same time. The wear and tear on a car is hard, no matter what. If you're just in a city, in a highway, whatever. So you want to make sure you keep the oil change. You want to make sure you keep gas in it. You want to make sure the spark plugs are good, and you want to take it in for that. What you usually do, seasonal maintenance. Seasonal maintenance. You get your flushes and all that stuff. So the body is just like that. The body is the most advanced computer. We've been on this planet for, I'm not even going, thousands of years, and we're still trying to figure it out. So, but that's one thing you want to do is continue to do maintenance on your body. Word up.
I like that. When you're naming what you're putting in your soup, I couldn't help but think about, I got beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes. Because that's
you name it.
Right.
It's that season.
It is the you name it season. Definitely the shop.
It's definitely the you name it season. We coming up on, I don't know about anybody. Like I said, for us, Halloween is an eating season, chili and things like that. And of course, Thanksgiving's coming up, and then you have Christmas. That's usually the time that we pick up the most weight, is between those 3 times, especially the 2 times of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if you're in the Midwest, like we're in the Midwest, you not only have Sweetest Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all back to back, so. And like I said, it's usually the laziest time of the year.
It's crock pot season. It's put it in the crock pot.
That's what it should be.
8 in the morning, and that's what it come back at 5 or 6, and whatever's done is done, and that's dinner.
And it should be. But the thing is, we want to do is to encourage you to throw something not only delicious but nutritious in that crock pot.
I like it. So what are we doing for self-care this week?
For self-care this week, make a 3-step plan. First, what is going to be your nutrition going into the fall and winter season? 2, what exercises can you incorporate going into the fall and to the winter? And 3, do some type of cleanse. It doesn't have to be a juice cleanse. It doesn't have to be completely water fasting. It could just be incorporating a salad a day. Changing your 15-minute break snack from a candy bar to cranberries. So nutrition, like I said, that's not just salad. I'm talking about your vitamin B12, your 6, your amino acids, the antioxidants, your exercise, and eating more healthy to help us get through this fall and winter. We need to boost our immune system because this COVID does not look like it's letting loose. It's in the long haul fight with us. And there are simple things that we can do to fight back. Self-care side. Now let's get into my favorite part of the show. Doom, 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 doom. Brain science.
All right, so this week for Brain Science, we have a twofer because I'm going to talk to you about exercising your brain and your body, which will also in turn help your brain. So why is it important to exercise your brain? Just like we exercise our bodies to keep it in good working order, research has shown that it is equally important to exercise our brain to keep it sharp and potentially lower the risk of developing dementia. A few activities that can help exercise your brain, which we already mentioned: working on puzzles, socializing with others, reading books and newspapers, playing board games or cards, volunteering or joining a club, learning how to play an instrument, visiting a museum or going to the movies, playing strategy games, which I talked about before. You can do strategy games on paper or electronically. Those things are great. And another game that I forgot to mention that I like to play is Farmville. I know a lot of people think that is corny, but it is something about raising the animals and planting things and coming back a day or two later, and you have to come back on time to check it, because if you don't, your crops will wither. So that, for me, it's fun, relaxing, and strategizing. You have to decide where to put different animals on your farm, and tools and sheds, and where everything is going to fit. So yeah. So anyway, it is normal for your brain to slow down with age. We tend to be less active physically, and this can affect our brain activity. Therefore, in addition to keeping our brains active, we should exercise regularly and eat a healthy diet. Maintaining our physical health helps the process of neurogenesis, which is the creation of new brain cells. Exercise also helps with the flow of blood to the brain. So here are 10 other neurological benefits to exercising. Decrease stress, which we've talked about many times before. Good self-care is keeping that stress in check. Decrease social anxiety. Improve processing of emotions. When you feel better, you process things differently. You don't get as upset and fly off the handle as easily, when your brain is active, when your body is active. It also allows you to process things more positively. If you're always looking for the negative in a situation, that's what you're going to see is the negative, right? Mm-hmm. So it is also helps in the prevention of neurological conditions, and it gives you a short-term sense of euphoria, that moment you feel when your heart is racing, your heart is pumping. We often only think that we get this feeling during sex, but we can also get this feeling during vigorous exercise. Anytime that heart is pumping, that feeling of euphoria is going to come into play, right? So you also get increased energy, increased focus and attention. It hinders the aging process. When your body and your brain are in sync and they're moving, that keeps you younger longer, which is really important. It aids in improved blood circulation and decreased brain fog. So when people have those moments where they're like, I was thinking about something, I don't remember what I came in the kitchen for. When your body and your brain are both exercised properly and that blood flows, that reduces that brain fog moment. That's not to say you're not still going to have any, but that's just a good way to reduce them. So all of these benefits are connected to the generation of new neurons, which is neurogenesis, which is what we want. And neuroplasticity, which is your synaptoplasticity or alterations to the strength that already exists in your brain synapses, right? So all of these benefits have been known to reduce your insulin resistance and inflammation, which means it can stave off diabetes and arthritis. The more you're moving, keeping that body and that brain together, it's just a benefit for your body as a whole. That brain and body connection is so important. Exercise your brain, exercise your body. Your brain is going to thank you tenfold.
Word up.
Word up. So tell them where to find us, Pick You.
You can find us on all social media networks, as they call it. We're on Facebook, we're on IG, we're on Twitter. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok. Far as the podcast, you can find us on all podcast formats, whether it be Anchor, Google, Apple, SoundCloud. Look us up, and please, as always, like, share, follow, comment. And now we also have some limited edition merch. Come to our first. I'm all goggle. I'm tired. Come to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/FlyWithUsLA. We have some limited edition merch. We have some fresh hoodies. Like we said, it's becoming fall. You need that fresh hoodie. We have like two and a half different kinds. We have 2 different kinds, but we have 2 colors in the second. We still have fresh t-shirts that are on sale right now. $15 for the quick holler on the t-shirts. Come to the Facebook page for the price on the hoodies. Like I said, they're very limited edition. We aren't getting any more of these hoodies. That once they're gone, they're gone. So please like, share, follow, comment. We would love to hear your feedback. And if you would like to come on the show to talk about self-care, we are open to it. It's your boy Picket Fence.
I'm your girl, Lady Bounce.
We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.